Hi, and welcome to your class today. This is Kelly here with a 30-minute beginner-friendly practice. We're going to go through a series of poses building on each time to create a little bit of flow. So let's start by coming into a comfortable centering position. If you have a blanket and/or blocks close by, they might be helpful, but not necessary for class. We'll get the sit bones grounded, maybe rocking side to side. You can be in Sukhasana or any centering posture that feels good for you. We'll roll the shoulders back and down. Sitting up nice and tall. Flip the hands so the palms are facing up. Ready to welcome all the goodness that even a short practice can provide for your day, for your awareness, for the mind and body. We'll inhale through the nose. Nice slow exhale through the nose. Take a few moments to just feel the ease wash over the body, completely letting go of what you no longer need. That might be something as simple as a random thought that popped in, or maybe something deeper that you feel is kind of weighing on your shoulders. It doesn't mean a practice is going to release it completely, but just some time away from it, focusing on your breath and your body, might bring in a new perspective. We'll take one more breath. Allow the chin to come all the way to the chest on the exhale. And then inhale, we'll blink the eyes open and start to gaze towards the ceiling. Seeing if as you look up, only go as far as your neck allows, see if you can pull the shoulder blades back and lift the chest slightly. And then draw the chin down without rounding the shoulders, feeling the chest continue to lift towards the chin. Try that a few more times. Inhale as we look up. And exhale as you draw just the chin down, keeping the chest and torso nice and long. Last one. And exhale, we'll come back to center. Good, and then we'll keep the chin and the top of the head at those two parallel lines, creating length in the neck. And we're just going to go side to side. So seeing if you can keep the chin lifted instead of bringing the chin down towards the shoulder, seeing if you can lift it as you go over to the side. Good, so these movements can bring a lot of ease to tension in the neck, but also help strengthen. Good, only go as far as feels comfortable for you. Good, one more each direction. Inhale as you turn, exhale back to center. Inhale over to the other side. And exhale back to center. Good, we'll cross the legs and reverse it to the other direction. And then we're going to bring those hands out to the side. Good, roll the shoulders back and down. Nice big self-hug, give a little wiggle. And then we're going to bring those hands up. Bring the palms together, slide the shoulder blades down. Shake out the head and neck. One more big inhale as you pull the pinky fingers and the elbows back. And then exhale, hands reach out to the side as you melt the heart forward. So great place to use blocks if the hands can't easily reach the floor. And we're not really trying to go that far out, but just letting the back of the body release the back of the head, letting go. And then inhale, we'll roll it up. And we'll do the other side. So we lift those arms out to the side. Opposite arm crosses on top. Good. We reach and lengthen and then bring the back of the hands together. Pull the pinky fingers and the elbows back to create space, but checking in that the shoulders aren't too high towards the ears. And then we exhale, release the arms to the sides and melt forward. Let the back of the head release. Give it a little shake, letting go. One more full breath, breathing into the back of the lungs, all the way into the low back. Exhale, spill forward. and then roll up nice and slow. We'll shift to a kneeling position. We're going to start a lot of these poses from a tabletop position. So if it's more comfortable for you to have some support under the knees, I encourage you to do that. A nice firm blanket, so you don't want anything like a down comforter that's a little too squishy, but a firmer blanket, a throw or something like that is ideal. Come into your tabletop position, and we're going to start just by warming up the wrists a little bit. So we're going to pop up onto the fingertips, and then we're going to flatten the palm back down. You can alternate hands, especially if you know that the wrists are a little sensitive. You might want to alternate if you feel comfortable coming up and then pushing back down on both hands, almost like a little hop for the palms. Good. We always want to make sure we're never using the knuckles, so we never want to be in this position. We always either want to be up on the fingertips, strengthening, or whole palm flat with the fingers spread wide. Notice if this starts to create a little movement through the center of the body. We want to keep nice and firm in the core, low back is long as we come up and down. Good, about 3 more. Good, you might feel a little warmth building through the palms. Last one. Flatten the palms down. Good. With the hands spread out nice and wide, we'll inhale forward into our cow pose and exhale round. Good. Inhale forward into our cow and exhale round. One more. Exhale round. Sit back into child's pose. You can widen the knees or keep the knees together. And start to push into those hands to get the hips back a little further. You can give them a little wiggle. Head can relax. Just know this is a safe place to come to whenever the body needs it. And of course, if child's pose is not a comfortable position for you, you can find another posture that you need to come down and rest in. Always listening to your body as your guide before me, before anyone you might be practicing with. You are your first teacher. Everyone else comes after. When you're ready, we'll come back up to your tabletop position. Good. Draw those knees a little bit closer together. And we're going to work to come up into a low lunge with a little intention. So we're going to extend the left leg back first. Pull the knee towards the elbow and see if you can hold here. Good. See if you're looking towards your knee and then lengthen the neck forward, but keep that knee squeezing in. Take one more breath and then step the foot to the outside of the hand. If it is way back here, you can just reach that hand back and wiggle it the rest of the way forward. Good. We're going to encourage that foot to go in between the hands. Good. And if this is not a comfortable position with the hands down, use your blocks, your stacks of books, whatever you might have handy to make the arms longer so you can lift up. Good. We're going to start by leaning forward. Notice if that knee shoots past the toes. If that's the case, walk the foot forward. Good. We're feeling equal amount of opening in the left leg, that entire hamstring and hip, as well as the front of the right leg. As you're here, roll the shoulders back. Think about lengthening the chest forward and get that length in the neck. So equal line between the chin and the top of the head. We don't want to be arching the head back or rounding the chin forward. Good. We'll take one more full breath. If that feels okay, you can start to walk the hands up to the knee. And if that still feels okay, you can reach those hands up. Good. We're going to come into a little bit of a side bend for the right side of the body. So we're reaching towards the left, the leg that's in front. Couple options here. To challenge the stability, you could bring the hand to the hip and just reach up and over. Good. If you want a little bit more support, you're going to bring that block to the highest level and bring it way out to the side of the mat. So it's going to give you a little bit more of a tripod feel between your foot and your knee and your block. Good. From this inhale, push the hips to the right, and then feel the opening come all the way up the body and into the top arm. You can look up, pull the shoulder onto the back, create space around the right side of the neck. One more breath. And we'll come back to center. Good. Send this left leg back. You can toe heel it back. You might lift it, get a little hover again, and then place it back. Good. And we'll take a few cat-cows, hands on blocks or the floor. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. Good. Last one here. Nice neutral spine. And then we'll extend the right leg back, opposite leg. Pull the right knee towards the elbow, and then notice if even the neck is going to the side. See if you can lengthen the chest and neck while keeping that squeeze in. We'll take another breath, and then step that foot to the outside of the right hand or block, and then start to toe heel it to center. Good. Hands on whatever feels good for you as you start to just observe what this side wants to do for your low lunge. We already know what's is going on. We know what the left side did, but this side might need something completely different. We'll roll the shoulders back, lengthen the head forward. First, we establish length by leaning. Good. And then we challenge the balance. So if you're not quite comfortable coming up with the hands on the knee, you could always just lift those blocks and slide them back so you have a little bit more support here. Good. If it feels okay to bring the hands to the knee, we push that knee away, draw the belly in, lengthen the tailbone, and pull the head back. Shoulders are relaxed. Good. Continue to breathe, deepening as you choose. Arms might reach up, upward facing hands position. And then we're going to start to come into that side bend, creating space through the left side this time. So hand might come to the block, or it might come to the hip. Choose what this side needs. And we bring the hips over to the left. You're going to feel that sensation run from the top of the left thigh or maybe outer edge of the knee all the way up through the side body. If you're feeling too much pressure of the knee, then back off. Do a little less. Don't need to add that side bend in. Take 2 more breaths. Maybe pull the left shoulder back. Maybe gaze up. Last one. And then when you're ready, we'll come back down. Good, great job. All right, when you're ready, lean forward. Hands come down. We'll walk that right foot out to the side, maybe lift it, get a little extra crunch, and then back to tabletop position. Blocks out of the way, tabletop. Nice neutral spine, and we'll set up for downward facing dog to build for the next pose. When you're ready, walk the hands forward, tuck the toes under, and then lift back. Good. Feel free to keep this blanket at the center of the mat. This creates a nice division for the legs when we start to come into deeper standing poses. Good. So if stepping the left foot forward doesn't feel quite right for you from this downward dog, you can always come back to the knees, and you're going to set up just like we did our lunge the last time. Good. Otherwise, we'll deepen by taking an inhale and exhale in downward dog, opening up, and then lifting the left leg, noticing the inconsistency, even out the shoulders, and step the left foot directly under the heart. Good. So it's just a few, maybe 6 inches in front of your blanket, not way out here by the hands. Grab your blocks if you need some extra support. And then we're going to root down into the back heel. Push the back heel down. Good. This will give you more stability for starting to lift up. The front knee stays bent. We're rooting down into the front and back foot evenly, and then we reach up. Good. Warrior one position in the hips and the shoulders as we bend that knee and deepen our warrior one. Eyes focused. Nice job. Good. Take one more full breath. Exhale all the way. Hands come down to the hips, and we'll straighten out the front leg. Good. Notice if that right hip is still tilted back a little bit, and use the hands to even it out, feeling the inner thighs draw together. And then we lean forward into our pyramid pose. Establishing our pyramid first by lengthening the front and the back of the spine, and then add the hands only after you can hold in that pyramid for just a moment. Hands can come down. If you need more space, stacking your blocks is a great option. One on top of the other. Inside of the foot is a great place for those hands. You could even go to the highest, just a little wobbly, so just be careful you're not pouring all your weight into it. Legs are supporting you as well. Good. We'll pull the heart forward. Think about lengthening the back of the neck as we did in the beginning of class, and then pulling the hips back evenly. We're feeling this natural traction for the spine. One more inhale. Exhale, deeply bend the left knee. Hands reach forward, right knee comes down, and step back, tabletop position. Good. We'll come back up into that downward dog for the other side. Root down in the hands. Spread out the fingers, tuck the toes under, lift it up. Chest presses back and down. Good. We'll lift the right leg slightly. Step it directly under the heart. Again, not in between the hands. Good. Push into that right leg. Gather your blocks for some extra support. And then push the left heel down. So as you can see, my feet are only just slightly in front of the blanket and slightly behind. I like the way that the blanket creates a little awareness and space for the feet. We're bending the right knee, lengthening the heart forward. And then when you feel steady in the feet, equal pressure between both, we reach those hands up. Good. So sometimes we use the hands in our Warrior One to really open up those hips and bring that left hip forward. See if you can do it without using the awareness of the hands. Just create that little twist and see how that deepens. We'll take one more full breath. And then bring the hands down to the hips. Straighten out the front leg. Now we'll use those hands to deepen by drawing the inner thighs together. Lengthen and then hinge. As we hinge, both hips pull back. You can even use the hands to help out with that. We lengthen the heart forward, test out that strength in the back and the front, and then we bring our hands down. Nice job. Steady breath. Last one. Bend that front knee. Good. Walk the hands out. Left knee comes down, and we'll step back, tabletop position. Good. From tabletop, let's sit back in child's. We'll continue to deepen, adding a few more poses on. So back up to downward facing dog. Starting with that left leg once again, tuck the toes under. Good. We'll lift that left leg. This time, if you'd like to lift it up a little higher, feel free. And then bend the knee. So we don't want to create a swing of the knee, but we want to slowly crunch that knee in and place it under the heart. Good. Push the right heel down. And maybe without blocks this time, or use that support, we'll lift up Warrior One. Good. From here, we're deepening by turning the back heel, pivoting onto the ball of the back foot. This brings the right hip forward. And then bending the front knee deeper, pulling the right heel back into our high lunge position. Nice job. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Feel that opening. This is kind of a blend between our low lunge on the floor on the knee and our Warrior One. This incorporates aspects of both postures. See if you can deepen a little bit more. And then we're going to reach the hands out to the side. Pause here with the heart hovering over the knee and reach the fingertips back. Good. Feel that strengthening power in that left leg. And then hands come down. Right knee comes down. Set it back. Tabletop. And downward dog. Great job. Feel free to sigh out here as we reset for the other side. Right leg lifts. Feel free to bring it a little higher without swinging. We'll pull the knee in, gather in through the core, step it under the heart. Good. Push the left heel down, stability in the legs, lift it up. Warrior one. And again, as we step that foot forward, know that you can always come into that posture from a lunge. Good. One more inhale, pivots the back heel up, pushes the left heel back, right knee forward as we deepen into our lunge. So notice how when we deepen into our lunge, the torso isn't moving yet. The torso stays upright, and the legs are what deepen first. Next, inhale, lengthens us up, gives us space, and exhale, we reach the hands out to the side, lean forward, hovering over that front leg. You're going to feel a lot more of the weight pour into that right leg, but we're pushing away from the floor. Inhale here. Exhale, left knee down, and step back. Great job. Good. Rock those hips side to side. You might circle them out. Back up to downward dog when you're ready. Our last time building onto these standing poses, and we're going to add a little balance in at the end. So go ahead and come on up when you're ready. Downward facing dog, create space, take a few breaths. Good, bring the toes to touch. Left leg's going to lift as high as available to you at this moment. Point the toe. Notice if those hips swing open and the shoulders swing open. Start to make that correction, shoulders and then hips. Lift that foot up higher and then step it all the way up between the hands. So if it lands in between under the heart, then you can gather it with the calf and step it up the rest of the way. We're in a wider stance this time. Our back heel is already lifted. We might need a little extra support for balance to come up to high lunge this time. Our heart is reaching forward. We already did this pose. Lengthen and then push actively into the left foot as we reach out. Good, nice job. Nice wide stance in the leg. Pull that right heel back. Push the left knee forward like you're going to pull the mat apart. Good. As we create that opening action, we also draw up through the inner thighs, up through the base of the spine and into the lower belly. We'll take one more breath. As you exhale here, hands reach back, pour into that front leg. And then walk your hands to the blocks. They'll walk out in front. You can step on the blanket or mat behind you with the toe. And then we start to lift up for warrior three. Warrior three is like the capital letter T. You're lengthening from the back of the head to the right heel. And then this is the bottom part of the letter that roots you down towards the floor. Feel free to stay here. You could work on extending the hands forward, or opposite hand and leg. You could reach the hands back. Good. Whatever feels best for you. Try out a little balance, challenge the stability. Flex the back heel, lift the back of the right thigh a little bit more without straining the low back. And then exhale, right foot steps back. Right knee comes down. And we'll come back to tabletop position. Nice job. Good, very last one. We'll try it out on the other side. Inhale here. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Roll the shoulders away from the ears, step the toes together, right leg lifts up. And then again, notice if everything swung open to the right. Correct the shoulders, correct the hips, point the toe, and lift up more. And then step it between the thumbs. Good. Doesn't land where you want it. Just guide it the rest of the way there. Check in if you need some extra support. Back heel is lifted. If this is a really unstable posture, you feel like you're going to fall side to side, create more opening between the legs. So step your right foot out, left foot out a little bit. Right foot would go to the right, left foot would go to the left. Good. So you have a wider base. Once you get up into this high lunge position, deepen the legs and then reach up. Good. Creating space. 2 more breaths. Last one. We'll slowly start to reach the hands back. Lean the chest forward. Bend that front knee deeply. Check in on your stability first. Then walk your blocks out. Tap your left toe in. And then up. Good. I encourage the standing leg to stay slightly bent almost the entire pose. Only if the stability allows at the very end do you straighten it out. Those outer hips are working actively to stabilize. Core and low back muscles are lengthening and stabilizing. An option to add opposite hand. So it'd be your right arm. Since the left leg's extended back, you could do both hands, reaching them back. Good. Finding whatever stability means for you today. It's going to look different all the time. Last one. Exhale, step it back. Lower the knee down. And come all the way back to tabletop position. Okay. We're going to widen out the knees. Sit back to child's pose. Find that ease, that rest, that reset. Nice job. All right, as you're ready, slowly roll it up. We're going to try out an intentional boat pose as we lower down towards the floor. So if you want to have your blanket close by for final relaxation, feel free, and we'll get set up to come down towards the floor. Walk the feet forward, bend the knees, and then bring the hands behind. Your hips are centered right at the middle of the mat, so you don't really have to adjust once we get back into our final lying down position. Good. Flex the feet. Make sure the feet and the knees are about hip distance apart, so they're not wide, they're not falling in. Actively pull those toes in, and then hold behind the knees to lift the chest up. Roll the shoulders back, straighten the arms to come into that boat. If this is a little too much, hands behind can support, but we don't want to pour in and let the shoulders lift. Good. So hands slightly behind, help lift. Think about that length through the back and the front of the neck at the same time. Again, notice rounding in the shoulders. See if you can lift the chest up. And we'll take 3 more breaths. Last one. As you draw the belly in a little bit more, right at the end of the posture, we'll lower down. Keep those legs active. Hands start to release. And we come down 1 vertebrae at a time. Good. Once you come down, you can bring the knees in. Rock side to side. Circle it around. Gentle twist to each side. Spread the arms out like a T again. Over to the left. Inhale back to center. Over to the right. Inhale back to center, and we'll come into our relaxation. If that low back needs some extra support, knees bent, fall together. Otherwise, we'll extend the legs long. Let the feet fall open. Roll the shoulders under the back. So at the same time that we pull them together to get a slight lift in the chest, we feel them pull away from the ears. Palms face up. Good. Any extra support you might need as we come into our relaxation, an extra blanket, roll under the neck. Feel free to add that in. encourage you to stay here in your relaxation for as long as your body, your mind, and your schedule allow. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.